Welcome to the jungle. This is the Orlando Predators live.
The Fred Nation.
The Fred Nation. But you know, I'm going to throw out a hot tip I heard. I think this might be coming true. I got a feeling there's going to be another spring football league in Orlando real soon.
Is it what they call the indoor league or something?
No, that's the indoor league's another arena type deal. But this is going to be regular 11-man, 22-man football.
Playing at the Super Bowl.
I'm getting a feel here.
You heard it here
I don't want to say it's official, but
there's a nice field.
Regular football, which I'm still myself not seeing how minor league football can ever draw a major crowd.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that made the Predators successful, it was never compared against the NFL.
We never said,
competed.
Yeah, we're not the NFL. We're the football man, 8-man football party, and all that stuff.
Right.
We're not the NFL.
Right.
But the minute you try to infer that, we're just about as good as the NFL, so, if they do arrive, I just wonder, like all the ones in the past.
How many Canadian football teams are there still?
And even, the Canada struggles too. And now the NFL, I do think that they are going to move a team to London. I believe that within the next 2 to 3 years.
An existing team or starting there?
I think they'll put an existing team there. I think the team on the book is our friends over in Jacksonville, and they're off to another rough start, and that attendance keeps dropping. And remember the owner, right? I think he is from Europe, right?
Yeah, that's
and remember how many NFL games are played there now? About 2 a year, and they all sell out. And how do you get into Europe? And that would be an easy one for a division, East Coast division, meaning the Jets, Miami, New England, all that. They could play there. It's not much longer than going all the way across the coast.
That's true.
So I think that in the next 2 years, you heard it here. I think you're going to see that.
I think, you look at it, all the, the direction has been going that way, right?
Right. I mean, because revenues obviously are going to mushroom anyway. This year, the NFL should do $13 billion in revenues, and they estimate within the next 8 years, they're going to $27 billion in revenues. And I asked myself, what's wrong with my pension plan? Oh, no.
You're the chairman of the board.
Boy, am I an idiot, you know what I mean? I tell you, I really am not thrilled with the last collective bargaining agreement, which
you
didn't have anything to do with it. But, it was a 10-year deal, and you forgot a few things like cost of living, and various other factors. You didn't forget that for the current players, but, boy, you forgot it for the old ones. And there's really only approximately 1,650 guys that are vested players that are 65 and above. That's how few are left.
It's an elite group.
In the history of all pro football, it's just 1,650 guys that vested players are those that played 5 or more years. We consider them, I guess the NFL considers them the real players.
Sure.
But 1,650, and their pensions actually, it's a hard thing to weigh. Were they the foundation of the league, and I use this as an example, should the pension of one of those guys in the 60s be the same as one in the 80s if you both played the equal number of years? Now, there's an argument for each side.
Right.
Now, if I were the founding investor in Ford back in, I'm using an example, 1960, and I had stock, I'd be doing pretty good.
If you started off with 100 shares, you'd be a multi-millionaire.
Right. But in the NFL, you got nothing but beat up, and then you were the guinea pigs, and now most of them are crossing 65, 70, 75, and now they're finding out what the problems are. Well, you got dementia, you got CTE, you got this, you got that, and now the players today have so many unbelievable extra resources. They have retirement programs that are double than the ones in the past. They have annuities that kick in after a certain number. They got 5 years of health insurance. Once they get out, they get all these different benefits where the others didn't get anything. And the question, should they get something or not? And that will always be an issue. But that's going to be resolved soon. You know why? Because we're all going to be dead.
Yeah. Actually, I was thinking that while you were saying that. I didn't want to say it.
Dave's going, Mike, I don't want to give you the bad news, but enjoy your trip, buddy. That's the reality of it. And that's really a dilemma. Should the same 8-year veteran who played in the late 60s or, mid-60s get the same pension as a guy that, let's say, he's coming out the day who played 8 years? Should they each get, I'm just using an example, $2,000 a month? Or that's just too bad about the guy who gets started
because that was a different agreement back then compared to what the new one is.
Yeah, I mean, the revenues, but then all the revenues like they are today, where do they all come from? I mean,
that's what I was going to say.
So it's just, I mean, I can see both arguments, believe me, I'm not blind.
There's a basis for there's a foundation there.
Yeah, I mean, the old players scream, well, we're a foundation, we're the founders, and then the young players can say, so? There wasn't TV money then, there wasn't, I mean, really, I laugh about it because my starting salary my first year was $13,000. Well, these fellows are paid like, $30,000 a game.
Right, exactly.
And we had like 6 preseason games, they have 4. We had to hit 2-3 times a day during preseason practice. They only allowed to hit once. We had to wear pads during the whole week, during practice during the regular season, and they don't wear pads. So, but the game is, I think, much better today. I'm not sure, and the athletes are better for every position. Like, oh, John, you come down, make sure you're in the race. Right. Come on. And then back then, we were stupid enough to play injured. Now, geez, my little toe hurts. Okay, you're off for 2 weeks. So, but you could go into back and forth like arguments whether should they get more, shouldn't they get more, and and like you said, Dave, they'll be dead anyway, so don't worry. You six.
It's not going to matter.
You just need a few more years. That argument's gone.
All right. Well, I would like to see, in the next collective bargaining agreement, though, the current players hold out for a better deal for the former players, because you're all going to be former players sooner or later.
Oh, I mean, and that's one thing we always point out to them every time we meet them, is just say, remember, you're looking in the mirror.
That's right.
The guy said, well, it doesn't look too good. I said, thank you very much. But actually, I would say that these players are pretty sensible, and actually they're more knowledgeable than I thought. Because the way it works, when you walk into the room, there's only 2 former players allowed in the room, myself and another one, and with all the player reps. And I was absolutely flabbergasted the first time I walked in how knowledgeable they were. And actually, they were very understanding. But the point is, the whole package has to be molded through the Player Association, and we're more. Unfortunately, we're more lawyers than business people, and
kind of like politics.
Yeah, you're not kidding. That's exactly right. Kind of like politics.
You see what happens when you got lawyers?
No, and I mean that. I think one of the biggest plagues of Washington is just plagued with the legal profession.
Which is why I think
can't get anything done.
Which is why I think it's good that there's a businessman in this race. There's a surgeon in this race.
And Carly there, a surgeon.
Absolutely. Right. And David Levitt's a businessman.
I am not a politician if you haven't figured that out by now. People say, yes, you are, because you're running for office.
No, but there's a big point. David is not a lawyer.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is a big, big plus when you vote.
Yeah.
Because look what's already happened. I mean, the facts are the facts. Look at the budgets. Look at everything that's taken place. Who was 80% of the creators?
And just ask yourself this: all these laws that these lawyers pass, who actually benefits the most?
The lawsuits.
The lawyers,
right.
Hey, David, thanks for being with us tonight.
Thanks again for having me.
Dave4house.com. Dave4house.com. Don't forget to check out his fundraiser on October the 22nd, and we'll be right back.